ติอ่อนน้อมต่อผู้ใหญ่เป็นนิจเถิด
Sermon 2. Spiritual authority belongs to the weird kids. And it always did. Come, all ye weird kids, ye paper eaters, daydreamers, and backyard wizards. This is your altar call. Bring your imaginary friends, your weird collections, and your unfinished creative projects. You're home. Let's begin. Amen. Ah, women. Ah, them. Think back to when you were in grade school, middle school, high school. You remember the weird kid, right? Maybe you were them. The one who doodled sigils in math class and somehow knew the teacher was pregnant before anyone else did. The one eating paste, talking to squirrels, and insisting their imaginary friend was real. I had a few imaginary friends growing up, but they always seemed to run away. And I certainly was the weird kid. If my friend Ben were here, he would tell you about how in 4th grade I was meditating at the lunch table. Way before I was ever into all this. I was raised with a Catholic mother and a Protestant father, so I think I was rebelling in my own holy way. Or maybe I just liked Johnny Quest and didn't see anyone on the show who looked quite like me except Haji. Or maybe I just liked his turban and purple shirt.
Ooh la la.
And even back then, now that I think about it, I was practicing breath work, although I certainly wouldn't have called it that then. I just knew that if you breathed slowly enough, you could get your heart rate to go so slow it was almost like it wasn't beating at all. And maybe I've always been looking for a way out. Excuse me. And now I'm just thinking about all the different ways, all the different coping mechanisms for depression came up in childhood. And it's no secret that mental health, or emotional health, as I like to call it, is one of the great signifiers of a spiritual mind, a spiritual person, whatever that word means. Spiritual, not person. I think I know what person means. It's almost as if we're forced to live in a society that doesn't really understand the greater aspects of everything happening outside of our limited perspective. But when we're forced by well-meaning teachers, parents, and society to conform, to play along, well then, depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, ADHD, any number of emotional health issues can pop up. And let me be clear, I know there are scientific explanations for all of those things, and I'm not knocking them. As someone who has been in therapy before, I understand the reality of those situations. And also I understand that anytime we identify with one of those labels, we are separating ourselves from our source. We are seeing ourselves as different and separate than that holy self. See, I'm still a weird kid. I want to talk about this instead of Bitcoin. And here's the holy truth, my friends. Us weird kids have always been the spiritual authorities. Because we weren't afraid to wander. We could see magic in mud puddles. And we weren't afraid to ask angels if God has a butt or ever gets bored. The spiritual world has always belonged to the weird kids. The ones who made up rituals with sticks and sidewalk chalk. The ones who heard voices, saw shapes in clouds, and knew that the Tooth Fairy and God probably went bowling together. You don't need anyone's permission to be an authority on your own magic. If you survived middle school with a belief in magic still intact, you're already a high priest of something, and it's not my job as the Irreverent Reverend to tell you what you are the high priest or high priestess of. But I know it's holy, and I know it's sacred, and I know that when you're ready to step outside of the boundaries of society and conditioning, you will ascend to that holy role. My word, my friend, it's a beautiful vision that I see of you coming into your power, even taking those first gentle doe-like steps. Doe like the deer, not like dough like bread. Although that would be an awkward way to walk as well. If you had dough for legs, would you wear loafers for shoes? Oh, man. But anyway, the weird kids, we never needed a pulpit. We built altars out of mud pies and Pokemon cards. We didn't need a theology degree. We just knew, in our bones, in our boogers, in that one weird dream we kept having about flying naked through Discovery Zone. We knew. We knew something we couldn't name, because what we were trying to name predated names, predates words. Of course, try explaining this with the prepubescent mind of a middle schooler. Weird kids never needed a pulpit. We had tree forts. We didn't need robes. We had Lisa Frank binders with mystical dolphins. And if anyone asks for our credentials, we just hand them a rock that feels important.
Ooh.
Now, I do want to say that even though I don't have any authority over telling you that you are a spiritual authority, we each have our own unique individual authority. If you're familiar with human design, then that's something that you can dig into, and maybe we'll get into that in another episode. But for now, today, I ordain you Archbishop of Awkward, Lama of Looney Tunes, the Pontiff of the Peculiar, and the Cardinal of Coloring Outside the Lines. Your authority doesn't come from approval. It comes from the holy courage to be weird on purpose, to be cringe on purpose. And if someone does ask for your credentials, remember, all you can do is say, Spirit told me so. Also, you want to see this cool rock I found?
Ooh.
Here are your holy marching orders. Go be weird on purpose. The world needs your strange prayers. Go forth, ordained weirdo. May your imaginary friends be real, your crystals be shiny, and your sermons be broadcast to squirrels everywhere. Amen. All women. All them.